Hello and welcome to Software Pulse Building Java Desktop Applications. In this video we are going to take a look at the last two remaining JavaFX Alert dialog boxes that we haven't already covered. So let's have a quick look to see what we're going to do. So we have our standard application that we've been using through all of these examples, and what we've done here is we have added one more button in our collection of buttons called About, and when we click the About button it will pop up an information warning dialog box. So this is the information dialog box which we're going to do, and then I'm going to press OK and another dialog box is going to pop up, and this is a dialog box that is not based on a type. So we've had the error, we've had the information, we've had the decision, and the warning dialog box. And this is the dialog box if you specify none. And all we've done is put a title bar and some text in there. So they're the two dialog boxes we're going to have a look at in this session. So let's switch to our IDE and take a look at what we need to do. So we have our alert demo project here. And we've got our connection overview controller, our controller class for our user interface. And previously we had a method called handle go, which handles up the go when you press the go button, and we have a handle clear for when you press the clear button. And what we're going to do now is we're going to introduce a new button, so we need a handler for this new button. So this will be called when the About button is pressed. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so at fxml, so that gives us our rough stub there. Actually, that should be fxml. fxml. There we are. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a string that's going to present our text in our message box. So it just says trivial FTP client, carriage return, copyright John McNeil, carriage return, software pulse, carriage return, and then http softwarepulse.co.uk. Then what we're used to seeing is we're going to create a new alert, and we're going to say this is of alert type information, and we're going to set the content to be the message and the title about TFTP. Now what's interesting here, or what's different here, is we've got this alert set header text to null. And what that does, if I just run this now, when I did the clear, you'll see that you've got this, are you sure you want to clear all fields, and this logo here, and then you've got, this is a confirmation alert with a custom icon. So the header part is this top part, and the content part is this bottom part. What we're saying, by saying that we're going to have set the alert to null, we're not going to have the header part, which means the logo or the icon that was in the header part will now move from the right hand side to the left hand side of the dialog box and will appear in this alongside this content part here. Then all I'm doing is I'm showing that alert and I'm waiting until the alert has closed down, and then I'm creating another alert here which is of type none, and so by default we won't get any buttons and we won't get any icons. I'm going to set the same message, the same text message that we set for the first one. I've got about FTPT, that's completely wrong. With decoration, that should be without decoration. Let's make that without decoration. Again, I'm going to set the header to null. And what I'm going to do here, although I've got it, I'm going to comment out the button bit to show you what happens if you don't put a button on your dialog box. All the others have a dialog, have at least one button on them. If you don't put a button on a dialog box, you run into a problem. So I'll show you what happens there. And then we've got this alert show and wait. So I'm just going to run this code now. And I'm not going to be able to, excuse me a minute, I'd forgotten to add the button on. So I'm just going to open Scene Builder, glue on Scene Builder, which is how I've built the user interface. I'm just going to open that up. So you can see here we've got our button bar down here, and I'm going to add another button and get it in there. I'm not going to make it pretty. I'm just going to make it functional. Call it about. And then I'm going to go down to set an action when we press that button to be handle about. Save that and then exit back to here. Now when you make a change with glue on, it can take a little time to just be reflected back in Eclipse. So if you run it too quickly, you find that it doesn't turn up. There it is, it has turned up. So with the clear, we had this header and this content part, and with this one we've said there's no header and no content. So you see the logo has gone over to the left hand side here beside this content. That's what happens when you don't have a header. So this is the information dialog box, and if I go OK now, this is the alert dialog box with the none setting. So you get no logo. I've only got content here because I've put the content in and there are no buttons. And the problem I get here is my application is now stuck. I can't get out of it. Even if I were to do the keystroke Alt F4, which I'm doing at the moment, it won't get out. And that's because I haven't put a button on there, so I haven't got anything to handle shutting down this window. So if you do an alert dialog box with of the type none, make sure you put something on it to put a button on it at least. So coming back to our code now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a button like we've seen in a previous example, which is a cancel button. And I'm going to add to the alert dialog pane this cancel button. So now when I save it and run it, I get this information dialog box, and in the next one you can see I've got the cancel button here, and if I press cancel, it all shuts down. So there you are. You've seen the last of the two alert type boxes that go with JavaFX, the information dialog box and the dialog box with no styling whatsoever, where you have to create everything yourself. And we've seen how to watch out for that one, in that you must put a button on there, otherwise you can't close down the window. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you pop along to the website and have a look at some of the other examples that are available there, both more YouTube videos and also some written examples in the blog site. So feel free to take a look, and I hope to see you shortly in another example.